You know, 2013 was 10 years ago.
Wait, that was 10 years ago?
Yeah.
We shot this 10 years
We shot
ago?
this 10 years.
Hey, Shiv.
What's up, Dan?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good. How did we get here? What is this?
Who does give a shit?
No one.
Yeah.
The answer to
We
every
don't.
question we're answering
Today.
here is no.
Nobody
one.
gives a shit.
No one cares.
Correct.
But I've been asked by maybe 1.5 people.
Okay. That's a lot.
What is this
That's
show?
1.5.
That's 50% more than if I just ask myself. They've asked me what this is. What is this show?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're here to do.
Okay.
Matt and I
Yeah.
met. We were coming up with ideas for 2013.
Yeah.
Which was at the time called
Hashtag
funny.
Yeah.
And is still hard for me not to say that. You know,
I know.
That to come out of my mouth when I'm talking about the show.
There's a joke around the people I've shared this show with, and
Yeah.
that is essentially they always talk to me about when I talk to them about the show that I shot 10 years ago with my friend who's I've known for 10 years.
It was going to be me, Matt, and then you and this guy named David.
David, let's just say he got a life. He went off and he probably did something worthwhile. Good fella has been probably happy for 10 years.
Yeah. Right.
So David couldn't do it, and so we ended up getting our good friend Eric.
Yes.
Let's just cover the thesis.
Okay.
We know that this is rough.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is not something where I'm like, look at this thing that took 10 years to make, and here is the glorious result. No.
There's no glory.
No.
There was
no glory here.
Us even sitting here talking about it.
This
alone.
is like court mandated.
Yeah.
Like just so that you just know, so that you can just know what the hell is happening. Matt would come over to my house a few times a week. We would write stuff, and it's so weird because it's I know we spent a lot of time writing these episodes and writing sketches and stuff, and it's I've blocked most of it out.
Oh yeah.
It's
Trauma.
it must have been a significant exactly. And then we shot. I think we shot for a couple.
Summer?
The majority of summer.
Yeah.
And then we came back in 2014, beginning of 2014, to do the last episode and probably some other stuff.
Right.
And then, namely, Matt and I have shot little things here or there. So if you see us, our bodies doing a little bit of a little wiggle warp, and then back to normal, it might have been coming back in 2016 and shooting a pickup or something like that.
Yeah.
The gym training montage in episode 6.
Yeah.
That was definitely later. That's one of the reasons we're wearing hoodies. My hair is completely different.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The sketches themselves.
Right.
They're straight up sketches, which is great because you don't need any context for them.
And I think we were originally going to have more.
Right.
But it just kind of worked out that it was once everyone had moved on, the amount that we had shot was essentially enough for one per episode. And I was like, okay,
That
great.
worked out, yeah.
We can start off every episode with one sketch.
Right.
I'm happy with that.
Right.
And there's other sequences. Shit plus dumpster cuddle. The
Shit plus dumpster cuddle. That's good.
Rednecks 4,
Yeah.
Presidential Baby, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
shot later. That was a fun thing because time had passed from 2013 to 2016, let's say. Our feet
Yeah.
just touched. Stop. So my hair grew out. Pretty long.
Yeah.
And what we did was we shot the dumpster sequence where I'm like a hobo.
Yeah.
And my hair's long. Then I by myself.
It's the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah. By myself, cut my hair into a mullet. So I just cut the top off, and I had a mullet.
And that's what Rednecks...
And then we shot Rednecks 4, Presidential Baby. And then I got a real haircut,
Yeah.
and we shot the first half of Shit Dumpster Cuddle.
Yeah.
Looking at episode 1, when Candy comes in and is
Yeah.
scolding us for not working on our web series, it's it's so fucking apt
Yeah.
that it kind of hurts
Yeah.
a little bit.
Of
'Cause
course.
but I like that because it's it became a commentary on how long this took to release.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it seems almost kind of, that scene in particular almost kind of makes it seem like this was all intentional, which it was not.
I was just excited to hang out and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's literally as far as my mind went. That's kind of a beautiful thing that you and Matt created something that other people wanted to be a part of.
It did feel great.
Yeah.
You know, that people showed up and for no money and
yeah, dude.
no credit until they were much older.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who's adjacently involved. No, shout out to everybody who worked on this project with Matt and Dan. We've always been in communication with each other, but I think it really picked up in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Really picked up.
I think I didn't see you probably for a handful of years.
Probably 3 or 4, yeah. I was like, my buddy Dan, who is now my friend, wants me to go and shoot this thing.
We were not friends then.
We were not. We were not. We were friends, but we're definitely not like as close as we are now.
Yeah.
I would get involved creatively with you, and then it would give you the stress you needed to finish it, and it would give me the creative satisfaction I was looking for. So I think those two things coming together allowed us to have this kind of plan where I would call you every week and then put down your mental health to increase mine, you know.
I think I needed your sort of outside perspective to be like, you know.
If you don't finish the edit, it's not like I'm gonna be like, all right, we're not talking anymore. It's like
No, what you'll say is, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
I know that for me, it was exciting to call you and talk about that stuff because for me personally, it was like, I want to talk about creative stuff. My life and my work is so removed from anything that I'm actually truly passionate about that I need this. It's almost like, dude, I need this.
I think I was telling you this the other day that the initial, I would say, maybe 98% of the cut of the show has been done for years.
Right.
I've made very little changes that you would probably notice, you know. Like I said, 98% of it is the same. But I've been working like every day on this for the past 6 months, maybe. And that's all shit like you maybe wouldn't even notice.
100%.
You have no idea, nor will you ever have any idea.
Tell him, man.
How much work has gone into just making this show barely watchable.
Correct.
There's been a handful of times over the years where I'm like, no, this is the year.
Yeah.
We're fucking finishing #funny this year. And then it got to the point where I was like, it's coming up on 10 years. Why don't we just release it in 2023 and it can be kind of like a time capsule thing, you know? I think I ran it by you and Matt.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about changing the name to 2013? You know, and you both like that idea, so we went with that. There are moments like this one that I'll show here of that it's been so many years, 9.9 years or whatever, of watching this footage where I'm trying to get my lines out, talking to Lindsay in episode 4.
Okay.
And Matt is screaming at me from off camera because I'm improvising, and like I think he might have been holding a reflector and it was hot, and everyone was like ready to go home. Right. And I was like kept saying more things. So what came out was, and it was different than what I was thinking to come out. And so what came out was, it was different than what I was.
Danny, you didn't say anything.
To come out. Opening up the editing program, and it's like, I gotta fix this whole thing at some point. Why don't I just shut it down and I'll revisit this at some point? So 10 years of that, basically. Yeah. You dig yourself a rut. The more you procrastinate, then every time you open it up and you're like, oh God, it takes more of a toll on you just imagining having to do it. My brain's empty. You talk now.
I mean, my main thing is that you committed yourself to something, and even if it took this amount of time to do it, you still have something that obviously this is not going to be something you're like, look at my resume,
right,
check out this web series.
I find clips where it's like we're all just kind of like, it doesn't matter like what your position is on the set or anything like that. It would just be like, someone would just call out like, "Oh, try saying this or try it this way," or whatever. There's no ego involved.
I know, and you would think. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
okay.
you would think that.
Don't let it happen again. But we will sometimes reference the show around civilians.
Yes, this is true.
So it's, I would say that if nothing else, we can start to say, oh, that's a line from this show 2013, here's the link.
Yeah.
As opposed to, oh, that's a line from this web series. Well, so we shot it, and well, we still might, we might release it at some point. How long ago? 10 years ago?
Dude.
But, well,
you know how
it's not out. You can't see it yet, but it's, well, we shot it. It happened.
Well, if I didn't see it, I don't see it. It never happened. And people are not wrong in thinking that. Like, if I didn't see it, you
what's
up
the
online
point
right now,
of
that
it being
didn't
a
happen.
reference if it's not to something anyone has ever seen? Then it's just like an in-joke.
Yeah.
And it's like,
which is cool, but like
2013 is now something that can be referenced and is not just an in-joke.
the procrastination you overcame, even though it took you 10 years, you overcame the procrastination, and also me bothering you.
Yes.
All the time.
Right. I would have done so many things differently. So
Yeah.
when you're watching this and you're like, ooh, like that audio is pretty crunchy and that picture doesn't look so good.
They will be saying that a lot.
If I just knuckled down at the time,
Yeah.
I could have finished this. It would be a different thing, but
it would have been
man,
done.
we would have been done then.
Right.
You know. But anyway, for better or worse. It was like a rotting piece of my soul that I can finally yank off of me, and I feel lighter because of it. So yes, to quote Celine Dion, my heart would go on if I didn't finish it ever. But I'm gonna be happier having done it.
The unrealistic dead dog corpse episode.
Yeah.
We already know that Matt slaps Eric at work, and that's how they lose their jobs. And then now they're working together, and they're in the backyard. You're like, why are you so timid, man? Yeah. He's like, you gotta defend yourself. And Eric literally goes, I don't know. I've been like that ever since. And if you don't know the context, it looks like he looks at Matt, and we know in the context that he got slapped. But when you take it out of context, you're like, did they have sex? What is that? What is that energy there?
And if you thought it was offensive now, you should see what we cut out. I don't think anyone expected this ever to be finished.
No.